Hello everyone, welcome back to Quest for You, and today I have a special episode for you. First of all, it's already episode 185, and you might be wondering about the title, The Invention of Wings. It's the title of a book that I read by Sue Monk-Kitt, and there are not that many books that just blow me away. This was one of them, and I had no choice. I had to record an episode about it. So here you go. It's a special episode with my feelings, my thoughts, my highlights from the book, and I've put some quotes in between. So there you go. The Invention of Wings. In life, we sometimes need reminders for the things we already know, but maybe have ignored or have not completely bought into. This book was such a reminder for me to recognize that there's a calling within each of us to make this world a better place. History has run its course until we're born. Nothing can be done to change what took place before us. But as soon as we arrive, we become part of it. We are both a creator of history and a participant. The question I have today for all of us is this: how often do we listen to the calling, that inner voice, or the strong impulse? Quote, "There was a time in Africa the people could fly. Mama told me this one night when I was 10 years old. She said, 'Handful? Your granny mama saw it for herself. She said they flew over trees and clouds. She said they flew like blackbirds. When we came here, we left that magic behind.'" The Invention of Wings by Sue Monk-Kitt is a manual for all of us on how to build wings. Not on learning how to fly. We already know how to fly. But we need wings. We need tools, we need strategies, and we need motivation to help us overcome our struggles, the obstacles we face, and the circumstances that seem to hold us back, so we can access our inner light and leave a legacy behind when we take off. Tool number 1. When we begin to build our wings, we have to learn to rebel, because, quote, "To remain silent in the face of evil is itself a form of evil." 11-year-old Sarah Grimke rebelled in a large way against her family when she was given Hetty as a slave for her birthday. She wrote a certificate of manumission to her parents, which was a letter stating that she is setting her slave free. She taught Hetty how to read, something that was completely unacceptable at that time, and she became friends with Hetty. Hetty resisted in small ways. She refused to sleep in front of Sarah's door at night. She bathed in Sarah's bathtub. And she used her silence as a tool of resistance when her mother was mistreated. When the people of East Germany were fed up with being locked up, we watched censored television and listened illegally to radio stations from all around the world so we could be informed. We lied on documents so we could travel. And when the time was ripe, we went to the streets. Quote, "She couldn't get free, and she couldn't pop misses on the back of her head with a cane, but she could take her silk. You do your rebellions any way you can." Tool number 2. In the process of building our wings, we have to anticipate struggle and even defeat. Because, quote, "The sorry truth is, you can walk your feet to blisters, walk till kingdom come, and you never will outpace your grief." Little Sarah Grimke, white, privileged and protected, dreamt of becoming a lawyer like her father. But she was ridiculed by her own family because in those times, women didn't have such crazy ideas. So she buried her dream deep inside of her and resigned to what appeared to be her predetermined destiny. Hetty, is trapped in the Grimke household. She watches her mother suffer cruel punishments, and she is abused herself at the hands of Sarah's mother. When the borders opened and Germany unified, I didn't immediately see a way out. I was too young to travel, and I didn't have money, and I didn't even know where to go. But no matter how deep we bury our dreams and how far in the opposite direction we walk, the flame is not extinguished. The light is always there, and the tiny voice can be heard. And as we see in this book, sometimes building wings takes time. Life is full of detours, unexpected stops, and seemingly insurmountable hurdles. But we have to try to find back on track. Tool number 3. When we recognize that deeper sense of purpose, we need courage and sacrifice. Because, quote, she used to say, you got to figure out which end of the needle you're going to be. The one that's fastened to the thread, or the end that pierces the cloth. Sarah Grimke, born into the high society of the South, expected to live and behave in accordance with the standard, alienated herself from everyone to stand up for her beliefs. She moved to Philadelphia and exchanged her splendid life for an unpretentious and simple lifestyle of an abolitionist. She said no to marriage, something she longed for all her life, in order to pursue a greater calling. Hetty becomes braver despite her limitations. She builds relationships outside of the house with free slaves. She assists with a planned slave uprising by stealing bullet molds from the Charleston Armory. And when I finally realized my freedom and I found an opportunity that allowed me to leave, I left behind my family, my first and newly furnished apartment, and my career that I had worked so hard for. I came to the US and I started over. The invention of wings. For me, this was more than a thought-provoking and emotionally stimulating story. It was also more than a reminder of a very dark spot in American history. For me, this book was about beauty, love, friendship, courage, and purpose. And most of all, this book was a question to me and to all of us. What is our legacy? What are we going to change, small or large, today or next year, wings or no wings? When are we beginning to use the guidance of our inner light? And I'm ending with a quote. Life is arranged against us, Sarah, and it's brutally worse for Handful and her mother and sister. We're all yearning for a wedge of sky, aren't we? I suspect God plants these yearnings in us, so we'll at least try and change the course of things. We must try, that's all. And with that, I want to leave you, and maybe have inspired you to read this book, or just to think about your legacy. If you get the book, I strongly recommend the audio version. It is beautiful. And with that, wishing you an amazing day. Much love.